her fans are saying this. No, I don't believe in her heart that she has hatred towards me. And I'm sure she believes that I don't have hatred towards her. But when it comes to death threats, when it comes to people finding, like, I'm talking about people who come down to my address, follow me home. Like, it's come down to that. And like, when I talked about earlier on after the season, and when I was in my press conference and I was talking about being sexualized, like, I guess people thought that was like, because I post pictures in my bathing suits. No, like, multiple occasions people have made AI pictures of me like naked, literally.
Really?
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no.
Are you naked on Instagram?
Angel Reese recently stirred up controversy by claiming she was being sexualized due to her public image. She pointed to her Instagram photos and even alleged that AI-generated images of her naked were circulating. But what's most surprising is her attempt to link this to Caitlin Clark.
Multiple occasions people have made AI pictures of me like naked, literally.
Really?
So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans.
Let's break this down. There's absolutely no connection between these issues and Caitlin Clark. This is another case of Angel Reese using Clark's rising fame to keep herself in the spotlight. It's clear, Reese is chasing clout, trying to attach herself to Caitlin Clark's narrative to remain relevant. But let's be honest here, Angel Reese's jealousy of Caitlin Clark is becoming more and more obvious. Clark hasn't done anything to her, yet Reese continues to create drama around her. Why? Because Caitlin Clark is dominating the WNBA, gaining attention and changing the game. Meanwhile, Angel Reese feels left out. This isn't just about basketball anymore. Caitlin Clark is getting pummeled with brutal fouls on the court, and WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has done nothing about it. Fans are frustrated. They're not just upset about the fouls. They're concerned that Clark isn't being protected as the league's rising star. Now let's get into the real tension between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. This isn't just a one-sided rivalry, it goes deep. There's Reese, constantly talking about being compared to Clark, and then there's Clark, who's out there doing what she does best, playing basketball at an elite level. Even Serena Williams stepped into the conversation, showing support for Caitlin Clark. Serena praised Clark, saying that negativity stems from people who can't do what Caitlin does on the court.
What advice would you have maybe for her?
I just love that she tries to stay grounded, and she says she doesn't, what did she say? She doesn't have a social, she doesn't look at her social, and I get it. I don't either. And I think it's so important to continue to do what she's doing, and no matter what other people do, then if people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do, basically, and hopefully she'll continue to do what she's doing.
This rivalry is more than just about two players. It's become a battle for the soul of the WNBA. Speaking of rivalries, the WNBA is under heavy scrutiny for how it's handling these situations. Recently, Diamond DeShields committed a brutal foul against Caitlin Clark, which left fans outraged. People immediately called it a flagrant foul, but what's worse, the league barely responded. And as if that wasn't enough, DeShields faced racist threats after the incident, showcasing how divisive this situation has become. Tensions are rising, and Caitlin Clark seems to be at the center of all of it. The league's reluctance to address these issues is alarming, and fans are demanding action. Meanwhile, Angel Reese keeps pushing her "they're watching me too" narrative. But here's the truth. Fans are tuning in for Caitlin Clark, not Reese. ESPN and the WNBA may try to promote both players equally, but the stats and numbers tell a different story. Caitlin Clark is the draw. Her dominance on the court and connection with the fans are undeniable. On the other hand, Reese is trying to keep up, but her attempts are falling flat. People aren't watching her. They're watching Caitlin. Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. The WNBA has seen a massive boost in viewership, and that's largely due to the Clark effect. Of the top 18 most-watched games this season, 16 featured Caitlin Clark. This isn't a coincidence. People are showing up to watch her play. Clark's influence is driving the league's success, while Angel Reese struggles to find her footing. Clark's connection with fans is electric, and she continues to outshine Reese in every way. The more Reese tries to compare herself to Clark, the more obvious it becomes that Clark is in a league of her own. But it's not just about individual performances, it's about the broader impact on the WNBA. Caitlin Clark has become the face of the league, drawing in new fans and significantly boosting ticket sales, TV ratings, and overall engagement. ESPN has been covering her rise extensively, with some even comparing her to NBA legends like Stephen Curry for her deep-range shooting and ability to command the floor. Clark's impact isn't just changing her team, it's changing the entire league. As the Indiana Fever climb up the standings, thanks to her leadership, the Rookie of the Year race has already been decided. Angel Reese, meanwhile, is falling behind. Her constant focus on comparing herself to Caitlin Clark is overshadowing her game. Instead of focusing on her own performance, Reese continues to bring up Clark in interviews, podcasts, and social media posts. But it's backfiring. Fans and analysts alike are starting to see through this. Reese's attempts to stay in the spotlight by attaching herself to Clark's success are only hurting her reputation. The more she tries to tear down Clark, the more Clark shines. Caitlin Clark's dominance and the future of the WNBA. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's dominance. Clark has broken records left and right, leading her team, and she's doing it while handling immense pressure. Her ability to stay composed despite constant fouls, dirty plays, and media attention proves that she's not just a great player, she's a leader. The Rookie of the Year race, it's already over. Clark has surpassed Angel Reese in every possible category, from stats to team impact. What's next for Clark? Fans are already speculating that she could be in the MVP conversation soon. So, where does this leave Angel Reese? It's time for Reese to stop chasing Caitlin Clark and focus on her own game. The comparisons are not doing her any favors. Clark is clearly on a different level, and the more Reese tries to force the narrative, the more it becomes clear that Caitlin Clark is leading the charge for the future of the WNBA. What do you think? Is Angel Reese clout chasing by constantly linking herself to Caitlin Clark? Or is there something deeper at play? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're here for all the latest updates on the WNBA's biggest drama, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting breakdowns and updates.
You know, this game's going to be chippy from the beginning. I don't know what they're doing or what they've been doing or what's going on. It doesn't matter to us. We keep doing what we're doing. Come on. Together!
31 points, 12 assists, one unforgettable night. Caitlin Clark just rewrote the WNBA rookie playbook. In a high-stakes showdown against Angel Reese, Clark didn't just win, she dominated. But the big question remains, is the WNBA Rookie of the Year race already over? Buckle up, WNBA fans, because we're breaking down a game that will be talked about for years to come. Let's set the scene. Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. Two teams, two standout rookies, one epic showdown. What was supposed to be a close battle turned into the Caitlin Clark show, a performance that has everyone asking if this is the defining moment in the 2024 WNBA season. From the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court, you could feel the intensity. This wasn't just another game, it was a statement. Her posture, her focus, everything screamed, "This is my house now." And boy, did she prove it. Let's break down the numbers, because they're nothing short of spectacular. Clark finished with 31 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds. But here's the kicker, she did it all in just 3 quarters. That's right, Caitlin Clark was already on the bench with 3 minutes left in the fourth, the game well in hand. Now let's talk about those 12 assists. This isn't just about scoring, it's about Caitlin Clark's next-level vision on the court. She's not just playing the game, she's conducting a symphony. Each pass, each play, perfectly timed and executed. Clark is redefining the point guard position in the WNBA, showing why she's a game changer for the Indiana Fever. But it's not just the quantity of her stats, it's the quality. Caitlin Clark shot 5 for 8 from beyond the arc. We're talking long-range bombs that had even Chicago Sky fans rising from their seats. One shot, from way beyond the three-point line, was pure magic. It wasn't just a basket, it was a statement that Caitlin Clark is here to change the WNBA forever. Now let's address the elephant in the room, Angel Reese. This game was hyped as Clark versus Reese, the battle of the WNBA's super rookies, but it turned into a one-woman show. While Clark was lighting up the scoreboard, Reese struggled. She finished with just 10 points and 11 rebounds. In this head-to-head matchup, it wasn't even close. But here's where it gets really interesting. Caitlin Clark's impact goes way beyond her personal stats. Let's talk about the Indiana Fever. Last season, they were the league's punching bag, finishing with a dismal 13-27 record. Now they're playoff contenders, and a lot of that is thanks to Caitlin Clark's leadership and on-court brilliance. The final score, 181, a blowout. By the end of the third quarter, with Clark already on the bench, the Fever were up 98-74. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement to the entire WNBA. The Indiana Fever are here, and Caitlin Clark is leading the charge. But it's not just about one game. Caitlin Clark is transforming this franchise. Her teammates are playing better. Aaliyah Boston, for example, is thriving with Clark's pinpoint passes. The chemistry is electric, and it's giving opposing defenses nightmares. The Fever have gone from a rebuilding team to a legitimate playoff threat, all thanks to their rookie sensation. And let's talk about that Caitlin Clark confidence. It's contagious. You can see it in how the whole team plays. They believe they can beat anyone, any night. That champion mentality, it's crucial for a young team looking to make noise in the playoffs. But success comes with a price. Late in the game, with the Fever comfortably ahead, we saw the ugly side of frustration. Caitlin Clark was pushed from behind during a transition play. She fell hard, causing a moment of concern for every WNBA fan watching. This incident speaks volumes. Caitlin Clark isn't just winning games. She's getting into her opponents' heads. The Chicago Sky, a respected team with their own stars, resorted to desperate tactics. It's the kind of impact we usually see from seasoned veterans, not rookies in their first WNBA season. But Caitlin Clark, she got up, dusted herself off, and walked back to the bench with a smile. That smile said it all. You can knock me down, but you can't stop me. This is the kind of resilience that defines superstars in the WNBA. Now let's zoom out for a second. This performance isn't just about one game or even one season. We're watching the birth of a WNBA superstar. Caitlin Clark is redefining what's possible for a rookie. She's not just playing well, she's changing the game and raising the bar for the entire WNBA. And it's not just Caitlin Clark who's evolving. Let's talk about Coach Christy Sides. At the start of the season, many questioned if Sides could maximize Clark's potential. Well, those doubts are fading fast. Sides has rebuilt the Indiana Fever's offense around Caitlin Clark's unique skills. The result? A fluid, unpredictable attack that left the Chicago Sky defense scrambling. Sides isn't just letting Clark shine, she's building a cohesive, dangerous team around her star. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. While this game feels like a coronation for Caitlin Clark, it's important to remember we're still early in the season. There's a lot of basketball left to play. That said, it's hard to imagine anyone catching Clark in the WNBA Rookie of the Year race after this performance. She's not just putting up numbers, she's changing the narrative around her team and the league. And here's an exciting thought. This might just be the beginning of an epic rivalry. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two of the most talented and charismatic players to enter the WNBA in years, already have history from their college days. Now that rivalry has been transported to the biggest stage in women's basketball. Yes, Caitlin Clark dominated this matchup, but Angel Reese is a fierce competitor. You can bet she's going to use this defeat as fuel. She'll go back to training, work even harder, and come back with everything next season. And Clark? Well, she just set a new standard for herself. Now the pressure's on to maintain this level of play. Can she continue to dominate like this? Or will Reese and other rising stars find a way to contain her? Imagine future matchups between these two. Every Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game will be must-watch TV. Comparisons will be inevitable. Statistics will be scrutinized. And fans on both sides will passionately defend their favorite player. But beyond the numbers and the rivalries, let's appreciate what we're witnessing. Caitlin Clark's performance isn't just changing games, it's changing the WNBA. She's bringing new fans to the league, filling arenas, and creating buzz we haven't seen in years. This is the kind of star power that can elevate an entire sport. Young girls watching Caitlin Clark aren't just seeing a great player, they're seeing what's possible. They're seeing a woman dominate on the biggest stage, playing with a joy and confidence that's infectious. And let's be clear, this isn't just good for the Indiana Fever or for Caitlin Clark herself. It's good for the entire WNBA. Rising tides lift all boats, and Caitlin Clark is creating a tidal wave of interest in women's basketball. As the dust settles on Caitlin Clark's historic night, one thing is clear. The WNBA will never be the same. We're not just watching a great rookie season, we're witnessing the birth of a superstar. The Rookie of the Year race, it might be over, but Caitlin Clark's impact on the league, that's just beginning. Buckle up, WNBA fans. The Caitlin Clark era is here, and it's going to be one hell of a ride.
Clark gives a round of applause to all the fans in this building who have come out to cheer her and the Fever.
Is the WNBA experiencing its LeBron James moment? Caitlin Clark's explosive entry into women's professional basketball is turning heads, shattering WNBA records, and challenging everything we thought we knew about WNBA rookie performances. Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the Caitlin Clark WNBA phenomenon. Let's kick things off with a WNBA stat that'll blow your mind. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's star rookie, is averaging 37.6 points per game when you combine her scoring and assists. That's not just good, it's on track to set a new WNBA record. But here's the kicker. She's doing this as a WNBA rookie. Clark isn't just running away with WNBA Rookie of the Year. She's pushing established WNBA stars for the WNBA MVP award. That's Caitlin Clark for you. A player so dominant that she's forcing us to rewrite the rule book on what WNBA rookies can achieve. Caitlin Clark's WNBA game is a perfect storm of scoring prowess and playmaking brilliance. She's not just leading the WNBA in scoring, she's doing it with a flair that's leaving WNBA defenders in knots. We're talking about a WNBA player who's not afraid to pull up from logo range, hitting three-pointers that would make NBA star Steph Curry proud. In a recent WNBA game, Clark dropped 40 points, dished out 10 assists, and grabbed 7 rebounds. That's not just a good WNBA game, that's an MVP caliber performance in women's basketball. But Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA isn't just about scoring. Her passing ability in women's basketball is being compared to NBA legend LeBron James. Full-court bounce passes that thread the needle? That's becoming a regular occurrence in WNBA games featuring Caitlin Clark. This combination of WNBA skills makes her nearly impossible to guard. From beyond 30 feet, she's shooting an impressive 37%. Within 5 feet of the hoop, a staggering 63.6% success rate. Do you play her tight and risk getting blown by? Or give her space and watch her rain threes? It's a WNBA defensive nightmare. Now let's talk about Caitlin Clark's impact on her WNBA team. Remember when the Indiana Fever were the WNBA's punching bag? Last WNBA season, they limped to a 13-27 record. Enter Caitlin Clark, and suddenly they're WNBA playoff contenders. That's not just improvement, that's a complete transformation of an WNBA franchise. Since the Olympic break, the Fever have been on fire in the WNBA, boasting a 7-1 record. Clark isn't just putting up WNBA numbers, she's elevating her entire WNBA team. But Caitlin Clark's impact extends far beyond the WNBA court. She's not just changing the game of women's basketball, she's transforming the WNBA's entire landscape. Get this, 16 out of 18 WNBA games that drew over 1 million viewers this season featured Caitlin Clark. We're talking about a WNBA rookie pulling in NBA-level viewership. A recent Indiana Fever WNBA game drew 2.2 million viewers. That's massive for women's professional basketball. Let's put this into perspective. WNBA viewership grew by 20% in 2023. With Caitlin Clark, it's grown by an astounding 180%. The numbers are mind-boggling. Clark's WNBA debut, it drew 2.11 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA game since 2001 and the highest rated ever on cable television. This game even outperformed an NHL playoff game airing at the same time. Talk about star power, but it doesn't stop there. WNBA Draft Day viewership, up a staggering 400%. The 2024 WNBA Draft where Clark was selected first overall, drew 2.45 million viewers. That's more than 4 times the previous record set in 2004. WNBA ticket sales have surged by 93%. The Indiana Fever, in particular, has seen significant increases in attendance and ticket sales. These aren't just numbers. They're a testament to Caitlin Clark's star power in women's basketball. The Caitlin Clark effect is rippling through every aspect of the WNBA. WNBA app downloads up by 146%. Overall league attendance grown by 14%. And remember, this is building on an already strong foundation. The 2023 WNBA season saw a 21% increase in viewership, the largest audience in over 2 decades. 3 teams announced season ticket sellouts for the first time in WNBA history. Clark isn't just riding a wave, she's creating a tsunami of interest in women's professional basketball. With numbers like these, it's no wonder Caitlin Clark isn't just in the WNBA Rookie of the Year conversation, she's making a serious case for WNBA MVP. Aja Wilson, the presumptive WNBA MVP favorite, suddenly has competition. Clark's combination of scoring, playmaking, and team impact is forcing the WNBA to reconsider what an MVP in women's basketball looks like. The traditional WNBA MVP criteria are being challenged. It's not just about individual WNBA stats anymore. It's about impact on women's basketball. And Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. She's leading in individual WNBA stats. She's transformed her team from WNBA bottom dwellers to contenders. And she's bringing unprecedented attention to women's professional basketball. Looking ahead, Caitlin Clark's impact could reshape the WNBA's future. Higher WNBA viewership means more revenue for women's basketball, better WNBA contracts, and potentially WNBA expansion. The WNBA is already aiming to double its media rights fees in upcoming negotiations. League expansion is underway, with new teams planned for the Bay Area and Toronto. The WNBA has been growing steadily, but Caitlin Clark is accelerating that growth at an unprecedented rate in women's sports. As we head into the final stretch of the WNBA season, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark. Can she lead the Indiana Fever to a deep WNBA playoff run? Will she challenge for WNBA MVP? One thing's for sure, women's professional basketball will never be the same. Caitlin Clark represents more than just a talented WNBA rookie. She's a glimpse into the future of women's basketball. Her ability to dominate on the WNBA court while simultaneously elevating the entire women's basketball league is something we rarely see in sports. Whether you're a die-hard WNBA fan or someone who's never watched a women's basketball game, Caitlin Clark's WNBA performances are must-see TV. So what do you think? Is Caitlin Clark the future of the WNBA and women's basketball? Are we witnessing the emergence of a once-in-a-generation talent in women's sports? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the Caitlin Clark era in the WNBA has begun, and it's going to be one hell of a ride for women's basketball fans.